There is not enough people talking about the fraud that has been going on in California. There is not enough people that are talking about the crap that Gavin Newsom has been putting that state through. And for all the crap that I give Minnesota, California is just as bad. Trust me, man. All right, like I read somewhere that we've deported enough people out of Minnesota to actually cause it to lose a congressional seat, which causes the Democrats to lose a congressional seat, which is actually pretty good. I hope that we were able to do the same thing in California. I know we did a lot of ICE deportations and stuff there. It didn't get bad enough that the National Guard had to show up, as far as I know. I don't remember exactly. There was a lot of things going on. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of crap going on in California, and so we're just going to cover it. We're going to go for it right now, okay? So anyway, this is the New York Post. They said that a federal prosecutor warns that more arrests are coming after a quote-unquote massive fraud was found in California's homeless services, where he followed the money. So, a federal prosecutor probing corruption in California's homeless services promised that more arrests are coming after two real estate executives were busted for allegedly bilking taxpayers out of millions. I imagine that is a typo. Probably supposed to say milking. Get your shit together, New York Post. What are you doing? First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Essayli, told the Post a coalition of federal agencies has uncovered wrongdoing on a staggering scale as he blasted Democrats as colossal failures for letting corruption fester for years. Quote, we followed the money and very quickly we uncovered massive amounts of fraud, unquote. Well, that's fair, right? We have these homeless cities that can only get cleaned up whenever President Xi Jinping from China shows up for whatever reason. The recent indictments of housing executives Cody Holmes and Steven Tyler were just the tip of the iceberg, as the duo face accusations that they pocketed state funds intended for homeless housing. Okay, so homeless, charities type things are taking state and federal funds and just pocketing it and not actually helping the homeless. Oh, I mean, we all kind of figured that out, right? But at least now there's proof of it, and they're going after them. That is just the beginning that's just beginning to scratch the surface, Essayli says. We have dozens of other investigations ongoing, and we expect to bring more charges this year, and perhaps this month. Oh boy. Holmes, former executive of Shangri-La, a Chinese one. Holmes, former executive of Shangri-La Industries, alleged embezzled about $2 million from quote Home Key, which is a homeless housing program created during the pandemic, and used the proceeds for luxury purchases for himself and his girlfriend. Oh boy. Wow. Corrupt fucking rich guys. Wow. Taylor, a Brentwood developer, is accused of defrauding lenders in a scheme to flip the Chevio Hills property to Weingard Center Association, a state-funded homeless nonprofit. Okay, all right, interesting. Kevin Murray, Weingard Center's CEO, resigned from his role at the State Housing Oversight Board amid questions about his knowledge of the dirty housing deal. Oh, we're starting to see powerful people get held accountable. Okay, all right. So Essayli, a former California State Assembly member, blasted his former Democratic colleagues for presiding over fraud and corruption and described oversight efforts as little more than lip service. Okay, so we've got Democrats calling out other Democrats for them just kind of going out and saying, hey, I promise to give you free shit, vote for me, and it's just turning out that it's making a very small amount of people incredibly rich because they're laundering all of the fucking money from charities and shit, and spending it on themselves because they don't actually give a crap about the problem. They just want to campaign that they have a solution. But the problem is, if they give you that solution, they're not going to be able to continue to campaign on it. So it's just this whole big conundrum, you know what I mean? Anyway, they're liars. They're straight up liars, he said. This is the former assembly member. They've been in control of the government, all of the branches of government, for over a decade. When I was in the legislature, they had no interest and they do not care. No, they don't. They don't care. They just want to campaign on the fact that they can make these problems better because you'll keep voting for them if they say, hey, I sympathize with you. Vote for me. When they feign shock and horror but continue to push the money out of the door, he continued, they care about spending money. They just don't care about accounting for money. That's the problem. They want to continue to spend the money. They just don't want to, be accountable for what they spend that money on. In 2024, state auditor found that California didn't properly track outcomes for $24 billion spent on homelessness programs. That means that roughly $24 billion was likely just laundered into somebody's pocket somewhere. In 2024 alone. By the way, California has like the highest tax rate in the fucking country. Or one of them anyway. Them in New York are the highest tax rates in the fucking country. Last year, a scathing court-ordered audit described Los Angeles homeless services as a financial black hole with no accountability or clear outcomes. President Donald Trump announced a fraud investigation in California in a Truth Social post on Tuesday, but Asaley said it's already happening. Look, we are already doing this because this is crazy. I'm glad that we're going to get some federal resources behind this, though, because it's crazy. There needs to be independent oversight from someone who is not politically connected to those individuals, he said. It's only people who can do that right now is the federal government, the FBI, the IRS. So he's calling for the FBI and the IRS to show up and audit California's homelessness programs, because the only people that would be able to hold them accountable are people that are not within their own political party. Which it just so happens that every single person in every single powerful role in the state of California is a deep blue Democrat, and they're all going to march lockstep, whether it helps the citizens or not. Everything and anything is on the table, Asaley says. The U.S. attorney launched a homeless fraud task force last year that involves the FBI, IRS, and the Office of the Investigator General and other federal agencies. Oh boy. Apparently, they found billions of dollars of fraud in California, and things are getting crazy there, man. Oh my God. There's more fraud that they found, though. See, because that was at the beginning of January. This is at the end of January, though. So this is from Fox News. This is Los Angeles hospice fraud reaches billions of dollars as Medicare providers scam federal system with fake companies. So similar to the shit that we have going on in Minnesota, we have hospice fraud. A bunch of companies that are claiming to be hospice, like home care companies, and they have a bunch of nurses on the payroll, and they're getting a bunch of money in federal subsidies, but they're not actually doing any of that. So this is similar to the Minnesota fraud that we're seeing. Let's see what Fox News has to say about it.
We want to get you now to the fight against fraud. The White House says mobsters are running schemes on hospice care. And the worst cases, they are in Los Angeles. And that's where we find William LaJeunesse with this story. Good morning.
Hey, Dana, you have ghost patients, sham companies, offshore owners, corrupt doctors here in L.A. scamming billions for patients that don't exist and care they never provide. Now, many seniors don't even know they've been enrolled until they need real medical care but can't get it because the hospice controls their Medicare number.
They're human traffickers. They're trafficking beneficiaries.
Hospice fraud.
Okay, so apparently one of the people just comes right out and says they're fucking just trafficking beneficiaries. This is crazy.
In L.A.
Hospice is crazy here. You've got hospice that's grown 7-fold in the last 5 years. They represent about $3.5 billion of fraud, we believe, just in L.A. County.
We are ground zero for the scammers.
Sheila Clark says hundreds of L.A. hospices falsely bill the government for unnecessary care, often cycling patients from one provider to another.
Okay, wait, hold on. So they actually have these people, but they have no intention of actually taking care of them. They just cycle them around everywhere so everyone can get paid for having that patient? Bro, what?
It's a non-ending benefit. That hospice is making, $4,000 a month indefinitely.
Patients are bought and sold like trading cards. Ads
What?
tell recruiters to post up at busy shopping centers or senior living addresses to knock on doors.
Bro, that was a Craigslist post. What is happening?
They promise patients walkers, wheelchairs, and can earn $300 for any senior over 62 they sign up, sick or not.
Their entire job is to go and find seniors that they can get money for.
Those patients and their
What?
Medicare numbers are then sold to providers.
A Medicare MIB number is more lucrative than a credit card.
How much money are federal taxpayers being taken for?
Millions, billions.
These are Russian Armenian gangs, mafia, that are leading a lot of these efforts, we believe, have been able to corrupt and
Dude, hide your grandparents now. They are going to take everything from them because they're going to be hospice care. There's going to be a quote-unquote hospice nurse show up to their house, and they're going to just steal a bunch of shit from them. That's a real thing. My stepmom, when I was growing up, was like a hospice nurse. She would go to these people's houses. Oftentimes, they're very wealthy people, but they're also like elderly, and they're just waiting to die, and they're doing that in their house. So she's there mostly just to make sure that they're comfortable. And she got accused of stealing shit all the time. Sometimes she did it, but it's a different thing. Sometimes it was her, sometimes it wasn't, you know. But regardless, that's a big thing that happens there, where like jewelry will come up missing, credit cards will come up missing, their debit cards will come up missing, or there'll be a strange charge on their debit card because while the nurse went out to go and get something, he took their debit card and bought herself a nice watch or something like that, right? So
work with doctors who are willing.
And now they're paying people hundreds of dollars apparently to sign up elderly for these hospice programs, whether they actually need them or not. So there's like a whole, this is like a whole scam thing. They are actually trafficking people. This is similar to what a human trafficking operation would be, right? Where like
Willing to lie.
If you don't have the position, you don't have anything.
One doctor billed the government $120 million in a single year, claiming to oversee 1,900 patients.
147 hospices, 1,900 patients. Hold on a minute. I'm pulling out the calculator for this. I don't care. Jesus Christ, dude. That's 13 people per hospice building. That's crazy. There's no way. There's no way. First of all, let's just assume that it's different. Let's assume that they have 1,900 patients and they also have 147 hospice cases, right? So, are the hospice cases real? If they are, then this better be a whole fucking hospital, because there's no way that one doctor is taking care of 1,900 patients. Now, if this is for the year, even then, I don't really know.
With almost 2,000 hospice agencies, LA County has more than...
LA has 1,900 hospice cases. Oh my God. It looks like the entire state of Florida has fucking
36 states
58.
combined, and 30 times more than either Florida or New York.
18.
Dude, there is some shit going on in LA right now. That is a lot of people. There's no way, man. And why did they think they would get away with this under Trump? Like, that's crazy.
Percent of the whole country's home health care billing is coming out of Los Angeles County. How is that possible?
Oh, it's easy because the illegals are allowed to claim healthcare or state benefits healthcare anyway that gets subsidized by the federal healthcare system. It's partly why we pay so goddamn much in taxes.
And take a look at this map, a cluster of 287 hospice providers in a 2-mile radius, some in strip malls, unmarked buildings.
Dude, I hope that it's in like a specific location where like Little Italy or something, right? Like where it's kind of like what we had in Minnesota, where, what is it called, Little Mogadishu or some shit like that, right? Like where, so you have all of the Somali community, they live in like one fucking area up there, and that's where all of the fraud was happening. I hope that that's what's happening in California too, where we can go in and just deport all these people because they're illegal here anyway. and we can just get rid of the problem right now.
Buildings, even a wrecking yard.
Also, ironically, because we've deported so many people out of Minnesota, the average IQ for the United States has in fact gone up.
And vacant lot.
All of it is just paperwork. I could fill that out in Kazakhstan if I want and get a hospice license waiting for me.
It's real human
shit.
life, and it has consequences.
Okay.
The problem, says Clark, once a beneficiary's number is assigned to a hospice, that patient can't get care anywhere else, including a hospital.
We need to listen to these people
Dude,
when they
what?
say, I've been scammed.
Now, yesterday, Governor Newsom filed a civil rights complaint against Dr. Oz for, quote, unfairly targeting the Armenian community.
Well, listen, man, if it's all happening in the Armenian community, you know, I mean...
However, the governor's own auditor, state and federal prosecutors say Armenian American organized crime is behind much of the fraud here.
Right, but Dr. Oz challenges him in his political, or for his political power in the state of California. He doesn't like that, so he has to do whatever he can to discredit whatever Dr. Oz says. It's stupid because it's his own agency, but it's fine.
And in 2022, auditors told the governor that weak state controls, a lack of guardrails, and poor licensing created a situation causing the state to put a moratorium, Dana, on new hospices, and since then, they've revoked about 280 licenses. Back to you.
Thank you for bringing us the story.
Oh, damn. They're revoking licenses and shit. Yeah, no, it doesn't really surprise me all that much that this is happening in California. I'd like to remind you guys, the literacy rates in California is extremely low. This is the most updated version. I've covered this before, so forgive me if it's like the same information. But so this is updated now to the previous like 2025's like data and shit. This is the World Population Review. This is U.S. literacy rates by state in 2026. So we're just going to skip over the average literacy rate because it's fine. States with the lowest literacy rates: California, 23.1% of adults lacking basic literacy skills, make California have the lowest literacy rate at 76.9%. Do you know what that means? That means only 75% of the state of California knows how to read. And this is just this is of adults, of adults. This does not count in children. Okay, 75% of the adults in California know how to read. That means that there is 23% of the adults in California do not know how to read or are functionally illiterate. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, this is what you get when you pour all of your money into these social justice type programs, these woke ass bullshit programs. Pour all of your money into the schools to teach kids that they can in fact be boys when they're girls and girls when they're boys. And dude, this is crazy. This is what happens when you allow illegals the ability to vote and don't give them any kind of reason to want to assimilate into the American society. They just want to be able to bring more of their family over here because it's a much better life. And they're going to have to keep voting for the Democrats to do that, and they're just going to keep getting free shit. So they don't need to know how to read. It's fine because you're just going to print everything in Spanish, or you're just going to tell me, or it doesn't really matter because you're not going to hold me accountable for anything that I do that's wrong anyway because I'm not an American citizen, so I get special privileges. This is crazy, okay? In California, 25% of the people do not know how to read. Yeah, that's the video. All of my links will definitely be in the description. I recently changed my handle on YouTube. It used to be Cestal-G2D. I just changed it to now Cestal_the_elf, right? So because I'm an elf, it's going to be Cestal the Elf, and I don't want to hear any more cringy jokes about me being the second coming. Don't know who was saying that. Definitely wasn't me. Anyway, all the links will be in my description. Definitely check out my videos. Definitely don't watch my videos unless you're subscribed because that's not cool. Alright, I will see you guys in a couple of days for the midweek stream on Wednesday. Alright, bye guys. Bye.